This happened last Sunday. Sunday worship services at an LDS church in Idaho Falls were canceled after members arrived to find that one of the building's windows had been shot out overnight. So, church leader arrives about 8 in the morning. They see broken glass in the entrance. They find a bullet inside the building. They call the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office. They come out. While they don't believe that there's any ongoing threat to the congregation, out of an abundance of caution last Sunday, they canceled church.
Did it really say they found a bullet?
It did. It said they discovered a bullet inside the building.
Wow.
So anyway, so they're expecting to resume services this week, but maybe it was somebody who had a talk and they're like, ooh, how can I get out of my talk?
As the cold winds of winter sweep in, there's nothing like the warmth of a comforting cup to help you slow down and unwind. This is the season. Let Postum be your cozy companion. Made from roasted grains, Postum is caffeine-free and rich with a smooth roasted flavor. It's the perfect drink for those quiet, chilly mornings. Whether you're curled up with a good book, sharing a laugh with loved ones, or simply watching the snow fall outside, a cup of Postum is the moment you have been waiting for.
Welcome to This Week in Mormons, the Twin Spouses edition. I am your host, Tiffany Hales Tanner, and I am here tonight with my husband, Darren Tanner.
Hello.
Darren, it's been a hot minute since you joined us.
I know.
Darren was afraid that I had kicked him off.
Well, you have bumped me many times.
I have not bumped you. We only missed recording in November, and we had a legitimate reason for missing our recording in November.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that was a week. We usually record on a Friday night. That week started out with Monday, and you came home from work and you were not feeling well.
No.
It was not pretty.
No.
I had Tuesday off of work because that was Veterans Day. You were still not feeling well. I was scurrying around the house getting a whole bunch of stuff done, hoping I didn't get what you got.
And
then Wednesday rolled along.
You did.
And I did. And Wednesday was our 15th
so
wedding.
This sickness
started
out, I thought I was food poisoned.
Yes.
Okay. It started out like my belly just like wasn't agreeing, right?
Yeah.
And then both ends were, especially the puking started.
Yeah.
And I wasn't used to that. I'm puked for many, many years.
You're not a puker.
No.
I'm the puker in this relationship.
For sure. Luckily, I had someone to drive me home from work because I was like, it wasn't very fun.
Exactly. So
and then, after I started feeling better, then boom.
I woke up Wednesday morning. I had a very important meeting on Wednesday morning that I was going to go into my office. I woke up and I was like, I'm definitely not going into my office. I'll just do it via Teams.
Hold on. You got ready.
I did.
Like showered, makeup, dressed
the whole 9
up.
yards.
You had your shoes on, which means you're going out the door. And what happened? Even I went, wow, she's tough.
So I woke up and I puked because I woke up and my stomach was sick. I puked.
I remember because I was going, uh-oh.
Then I got ready for work because I was like, I got this meeting. And then I realized I'm not going to be able to do it out the door at my office. I'm just going to have to do it via Teams. Like I'd been waiting months to talk to this person as a potential witness in this case.
Right.
And this was a big deal. And
I know.
And you were like, wow, she's hardcore.
Power through.
We're going to power through.
I'm a wussy. Huh?
You thought you were a wussy.
I did.
And as it got closer to my meeting was at 10 o'clock. And fortunately, all my cases, I have co-counsel. There's 2 attorneys. So as it got closer to the meeting, I called the other attorney, David, and I said, I'm not going to be able to conduct this meeting. I'll just be on the phone. You conduct. I'll be there for moral support. Then about 10 minutes from the meeting, I can't remember if I called him or texted him. I was like, David, dude, you're on your own. And I was down and out.
And they didn't hear from you for how many days?
2 days.
2 full days.
Well, so that was like 10 o'clock on Wednesday morning,
Right.
and I surfaced about 3 on Thursday. And they were just shocked when they didn't hear from me on Wednesday because they knew what a big deal this meeting was to me and how important it was to talk to this witness.
Right.
And they were like, wow, whatever she's got must be bad because she hasn't called to find out how the meeting went. Because quite frankly, by then I didn't care.
No.
And this was our 15th wedding anniversary. So this is how we spent our 15th wedding anniversary. By about 6 o'clock at night, I was like, I'm not really sure I care if I live or die anymore.
I did stay home one more day after
You
I
did.
felt better.
You did. You stayed home
Yeah.
Wednesday, and then I think you went to work
I had to make
Thursday.
sure you were hydrating.
I had to make sure I was
Because
hydrating.
Tiffany was hydrating with, as she always does, the
Diet Coke.
Mhm.
And Darren's like, you need water? And I'm like, dude, first ingredient in
Nasty.
Diet Coke is water.
Oh. Huh?
Anyway, so we make it to Friday, and we're set to record on Friday.
We were.
We were.
We were sitting down, right?
We were sitting
Just
down,
like this.
8:30 at night. My telephone rings, and it's our 18-year-old daughter.
Mm.
And she has just gotten in a car wreck.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it was severe in terms of the fact that her car was totaled. She was physically fine. She was emotionally very upset. The car wreck wasn't her fault. But it has taken us a good 30 days to sort out that whole mess between getting the police report and having the insurance company assign liability and figuring out, what they were going to pay for property damage and finding a new car. So it's been a month.
Yeah.
It's just adding on to our crazy 2025. So here's what we're doing tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Ariane and I have talked about this a lot. The Mormon Tabernacle, not Mormon. That's old. We don't do that anymore.
Me both times, 3 times.
Ariane.
Yeah.
Well, no, you only got you didn't get replaced. You just got skipped.
I thought for sure.
No. We're not replacing you, Darren. We just skipped you just once in November.
Well, it felt like many times.
I'm sure it did. Okay. So, Ariane and I, we are big fans of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, and we have talked a lot about their concerts and stuff. And when Ariane and I recorded in October, we talked about the Christmas concert. Anyway, I forgot to put my name in for the drawing for the Christmas concert tickets. Ariane put her name in, and sure enough, Ariane got 4 tickets to the Saturday night Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square Christmas concert, which is kind of huge.
Wow.
It's pretty big. And sure enough, she can't use them because her daughter has a dance competition tomorrow.
Nice.
So you and I are going to get up early tomorrow morning, and we are going to run down to Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a set of married kids that lives in the Salt Lake area. We're going to take them with us. I got us a lovely hotel in downtown Salt Lake so we can kind of like celebrate our anniversary that we didn't get to celebrate in November. Right. And we actually have 2 anniversaries. And so this is actually closer to our second anniversary. Our first anniversary in November is when we got legally married. And December 15th, we call that our temple anniversary because that's when we got sealed. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a little mini celebration in Salt Lake this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I think it's going to be really, really fun. Yeah. So anyway, that's what's up with us.
Yeah.
I know. Then we're going to turn around the next weekend and go back to Salt Lake again.
Yeah.
You want to tell them why we're going back to Salt Lake again 2 weekends in a row?
Yeah, sure. My mom's oldest sister, my aunt, passed away on the 6th.
Yeah, this last Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And so her funeral is next Friday, and so we're going down.
Yep.
But now she is my favorite aunt because I spent many summers down there, and she was my summer mom for many years, which was, was probably a problem. I was probably a problem.
I'm pretty sure you were a problem.
She is the one that turned me around I used to light things on fire. So when I was about 10, 11, 12, I would light anything that looked like it'd burn. I'd just light it on fire.
He burned a few fields down.
Yeah. And we burnt the hillside down by her house, which is by Geneva Park. There used to be a park off the bench,
Uh-huh.
and it had a train down there. I think there's a school there now or
Okay.
a church, but I burnt that whole, me and my cousin,
Her
her
son.
son, burned. We were playing with the cotton off the cotton trees.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, it ignited the whole side of the hill. And so instead of just getting mad like a few times,
Yeah.
many times before, and getting a whooping, like a whooping.
Which you would have gotten from your father.
Yeah. She took us down to the fire department,
Uh-huh.
and they told us they were taking us to jail. So,
Mm.
yeah, kind of frightened me.
Very.
Yeah. But we're going down to celebrate that.
Yeah,
And
that'll be fun.
yeah.
That'll be fun. You know, that brings me to a really interesting phenomenon that I don't think we've ever talked about on TWIM before. What do you wear to a Mormon funeral? I mean, that's easy if you're a guy. You're going to wear a white shirt and a tie. But, you know, you go to funerals outside of the Mormon culture and, you know, everybody's in black. You wear black to funerals. But Mormon funerals really are more about a celebration of the person than so much like the kind of the doom and gloom that you associate with wearing black to a funeral. And so I'm in a quandary. In fact, I think it was the Saturday before your aunt passed away. You were looking at my closet and you said, "You have a lot of black dresses. Are you anticipating a funeral?" Then she passed away, and I said, "Well, guess what? I got my funeral clothes already." But I don't know. It just seems so. I mean, I wear a lot of black for my work and stuff, but I'm just like, I just don't know if I want to wear black to a funeral because I'm, you know, just because of what we believe with the plan of salvation and that we know that she's in the spirit world and she's reunited with her mother and other, you know, loved ones that have passed away. It's, I mean, yes, you know, we're sad, but just so happy for her.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
Many people to greet her.
Many people to greet her. So I don't know. It's a real quandary. Should you, if you're Mormon, should you wear black to a funeral or not? I don't know.
I kind of I like the brightness and a little bit nicer than church. I would like to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If you're going to go to my funeral, come a little bit, well, sometimes, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to wear black next weekend.
No, don't wear black to mine.
I don't think. Well, I'm not going to wear black to yours, but I don't think I'm going to wear black next weekend either. All right. Well, let's do some news stories. That is why we're here. We have a great one to lead off this weekend. Shortly after Emily Bell Freeman was called as the General Young Women's president, she revamped her council. They all have a council of people who are called and they meet together.
And she's super cool.
And she is super cool. And when she revamped her council, again, Ariane and I talked about this, it was unlike, you know, what we'd ever seen with a Young Women's Council before. She had single sisters on there. She had older sisters. She had younger sisters. She had a sister who was still in college. I mean, she cut across the spectrum. It wasn't just all white women her age,
right,
which I really appreciated because I thought they're going to bring a diversity of opinions. Well, we have a new Young Men's presidency. They were announced in April. They were installed in August, I believe, and they decided to revamp their council. So, since Young Men's is something that is near and dear to your heart, Darren, I want you to talk about your thoughts related to this new council for the young men.
I think it's super cool. They call them the Young Men General Advisory Council. So they pick 14 of them, and they're going to counsel with the general presidency on things of probably the full spill from getting them active outside to keeping them spiritually motivated and just I love what they say because this is what we do with the young men is to serve and watch over the young men of the church. But I think it's super cool. And there's one of them is a YouTuber. I used to watch.
A former YouTuber.
Yep. He gave it up.
He quit in May of this year.
Because
he had 18 million subscribers, which is just like,
plus.
whoa. but he didn't like the attention that it was bringing to his family because the more popular he became. So you had watched him before. So tell us about this gentleman.
So, so me and my brother are into snow camping, like a lot,
Hardcore
right?
snow camping.
And he was one of the only guys that wasn't just it wasn't foo-foo. He was real. Like he would dig big pits to sleep in. He would put like the bunk beds in them and carve out the kitchens. And to me, that is like, it's a blast.
Yeah.
First off, there's no bugs out. There's no mosquitoes, right? It's a little cold, but it's
you can
fun.
fix that with a good fire.
He was so real. And I remember a few years ago when I watched one, and he took his kids on it, and he built this snow shelter, a full cave. And then he had cow hides and buffalo hides, and he laid them down. And that's when I came to you that year, and it was like, I need some cow hides. It worked just like carpeting the
go find those at Costco. Maybe my boyfriend Amazon has them.
But the stuff he was producing was super cool because it felt real when you're watching it. And I even hooked my older brother up with him. We'd watch him and talk to him, especially about the snow camping. And anyway, he has 3 boys.
Yes.
And
now he was born in Anchorage. He is a lawyer. And I told Darren, I said, this is like a you and me mashup because he's a lawyer, but yet he likes all this outdoor stuff. So he went to George Washington for law school, and then he practiced law in the Virginia area for about 10 years. And then he moved his family back to Anchorage. And so he was filming all these YouTube videos in Anchorage.
Right. So anyway, I really, he's awesome.
Yes. His name is Luke Nichols.
I didn't know he was a Latter-day Saint, but when I was watching it, but you
originally,
could tell, yeah. And you could tell, but the content it was good
and clean.
It was. So, but anyway.
So his name is Luke Nichols. And so he is the most well-known of the new council. But tell us about some of the other people that are on the new council.
Well, they range in age.
They do.
The oldest one being 59.
59. So you weren't feeling too bad about being in young men's at your age.
In fact, I think I asked you, am I over the line now? Is that the line, 59?
No. Okay, that is your biological age. That is not your mental age.
But they picked men that from all types,
all aspects,
careers.
They have a smattering of men from different countries, men with different ethnic backgrounds,
and the ages. I was impressed with the ages that they picked.
They have an co-founder and executive producer of the television show The Chosen. Plus, they've got this.
Am I wrong on the ages?
Oh,
I missed that one.
Oh,
maybe I'm still in.
Okay.
Can you say that name?
So we've got Elder. Oh, this is a. We're going to call him Elder Yamashita. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name. He's 72, and he was born in Tokyo, Japan. So,
wow.
So yes, Darren, we range in age from 36 to 72. You still got a good 12 more years you can serve in young men's.
I hate to brag, but I spent most of my church, what do you call it, a career?
Your church service career, calling career.
In the young men's. They tried to put me in elders quorum for about 6 months.
And that didn't work out so well.
I didn't last very long there. I'm kind of immature.
Exactly, which is why you fit really well.
But the young men nowadays are so... I love the council because the young men nowadays are so good.
They are.
They have good intentions. There's usually not the mischief one, like a couple we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but just how smart they are and how good they get along, and what we need in our young men they will be running.
They will.
Huh?
They will.
I want them as leaders in our society and in our lives. So
exactly.
I love it.
And they had their youngest one. I thought their youngest one was really interesting. He's 36 years old, and he has a YouTube channel called Full-Time Filmmaker, teaching video production and social media marketing. He also runs a faith-based YouTube channel and Instagram account.
Nice.
So they've got a number. I mean, that's three people that have a media background. Luke Nichols, who had the 18 million subscribers. We've got this guy, and then we have the producer from The Chosen. And I think they are so smart to put people on the council that have this social media background, because that's where the kids are.
Yep.
And that's how you
They can
are
relate to
going
that.
to engage them.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
anyway, yeah, that was a great story. All right. So our next one. Last weekend, as I'm sure many of you know, BYU played in the Big 12 championship against Texas Tech, and it didn't turn out so well for them.
BYU.
BYU lost to Texas Tech. So anyway, as a result, they are not in the college football playoffs, but they did get a bowl invite, and they are going to none other than the Pop Tart Bowl. Nice. Which I thought was hilarious. I'd never even heard of the Pop Tart Bowl. I was talking about this with Ariane. She had, BYU and Utah and everything. We're known for our love of sugar and our consumption of sugar. In fact, it was Dave Portnoy when they did who does Barstool Sports, when they did Fox's Big Noon Kickoff, was down in Provo just kind of shaking his head at all the sugar that he was being offered to consume. So it seems appropriate that we are going to the Pop Tart Bowl. And the Pop Tart Bowl will be at the end of December. It will be on December 27th. Hopefully the quarterback will be healed by then. He had a little ankle injury in the first quarter of the Texas Tech game, which they think probably contributed to, maybe they probably would have lost to Texas Tech anyway. But in any event, Coach Sataki is quite hopeful that he will be prepared and ready to go for the Pop Tart Bowl. Their opponent in the Pop Tart Bowl is Georgia Tech. But the most interesting thing about the Pop Tart Bowl is the mascots.
Yes.
Tell them what you know about the mascots, what I made you watch tonight.
They put him in the toaster, and he came out a Pop-Tart, like a big Pop-Tart, and then they were eating it.
Yes. So it's a little bit cannibalistic. But during the game, they have these mascots running around in Pop-Tarts, like a cherry Pop-Tart, a cinnamon Pop-Tart, cheering the fans on, doing all sorts of tricks. From what I've read about the Pop Tart Bowl is, it is as zany and as
it's supposed to be
wacky. So I think we're probably going to have to watch it just to see.
Hold on. We're going to watch a BYU game?
We're going to watch a BYU game.
Nice.
I watched the Texas Tech game last week.
Oh,
I was over at Ariane's house. We were bedazzling dance costumes at the same time.
Right.
We have some really lovely bedazzled dance costumes, but we had Texas Tech on.
Nice.
Anyway,
I would watch that.
The Pop Tart Bowl.
Yes.
So at the end, one of the mascots gets put into this big kind of toaster that they've created. It's a fake toaster. And then it comes out a giant Pop Tart that then the football players can go over there and consume. And they were picking off pieces of the giant edible Pop Tart that comes out of the toaster and throwing it that comes out. So I think we'll watch the Pop Tart Bowl and see what kind of zany antics happen.
Nice.
Now, speaking of BYU and sugar, staying with our football theme, there was a really fun article. It came out last week, right before the Texas Tech game. Did you know in the home stadium at BYU, there's obviously a section there that they reserve tickets for fans of the opposing team, that we have what is called ice cream diplomacy. Have you ever heard of ice cream diplomacy?
No.
Let me tell you what ice cream diplomacy is.
Yum.
And the last BYU home game that they had, Elder Gong showed up and he participated in ice cream diplomacy. Nice. So I think that legitimizes ice cream diplomacy if you have a member of the 12 there.
Sweet.
So what had happened is the BYU Alumni Association, they are very, very active. Graduates of BYU are hardcore.
They show up.
They show up. at the away games, they always show up and do a service project. Well, what they do at the home games is several years ago, they had gone to Notre Dame when BYU was playing Notre Dame. And I guess they were just treated like royalty by the people at Notre Dame. And they came home and they're like, we're slacking. We need to treat our opposing fans even better.
Oh.
So BYU is known for its ice cream, for the creamery.
Mhm.
They have some really fun flavors. One of the most popular is called Graham Canyon. There is another flavor. Their BYU president right now is a gentleman by the name of Shane Reese, and they have a flavor named after him, and they call it Insanely Chocolate. And then right now they have a BYU's turning 150 this year, so they have a special 150 flavor. So, what the Alumni Association does is they find out approximately how many tickets were sold to opposing fans. And then they place an order at the creamery for 8 ounces
Wow.
of little individual cups of ice cream. They have 90 seconds between the first quarter and the second quarter to go and pass this ice cream out.
90 seconds.
90 seconds. Now, at the last home game for BYU, they had 4,000 cups of ice cream they're passing out. So they have an army. They have an army of BYU alum. And they used to give free tickets to BYU alum if they would come and pass out the ice cream.
Right.
They don't have to do that anymore. The BYU alum who are at the game just know when and where to show up, and they go, and in 90 seconds they pass out. They do it. They do it between the first and the second quarter, because usually the game, nobody knows at that point in time who's going to win.
Right.
They want to do it between quarters because they don't want to be distracting to the fans. And they pass out this ice cream to the opposing teams as part of ice cream diplomacy. Part of, again, just how sweet, lovely, and nice we are, and just want to share the sugar with everyone.
In 90 seconds.
In 90 seconds.
That is neat.
It is really neat. So anyway, that was kind of a fun article about the history of that. So, all right, our next article. Back in September, of course, we had, and you and I did a special episode because it had happened back to back, that President Nelson had died, and we had the shooting in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Yeah.
So one of those survivors in Grand Blanc, Michigan, was actually released from the hospital 1 week ago. This is crazy, he spent 10 weeks in the hospital. He had 25 surgeries,
Wow.
which is just insane. He was shot in the abdomen. His son was also wounded by some shrapnel, but his son healed pretty quickly and was released. And so he was finally able to go home from the hospital, and KSL interviewed him. And this interview is just amazing. You know, he said that he said he described his recovery journey filled with determination and faith, in which he accepted every prayer and blessing that was offered, which is very cool. He said, I really had to start bearing down upon what I believed in, and I really had to focus and buckle down. When those actions and that faith combined, magic and miracles happen that otherwise don't. So I thought that was really cool. He talks about the love and support that he received from his wife. And she talks about, this is traumatic. I mean, we are healing the physical wounds right now, but there's still a lot of emotional wounds that have to heal. But one of the things that he wants to focus on is, rather than how traumatic this incident was, is he says, this was a terrible incident, but I want it to be remembered more for what people have bonded together to do in response to the evils that happen around us. Good will overcome evil, and we will crush and outweigh that evil in all accounts.
Wow.
So
this is one that I read last night that you left on the counter, and it didn't hit me because I'd kind of skimmed over it the first time when we were going through it. But as I actually read it and then read about his faith, and his faith to accept the prayers that were being offered, I remember us praying many times at that day, and then running back in, and just for those people. But for him to have that kind of faith, I put myself kind of in his situation for a minute and go, man, would I be able to do that? I mean, what would happen? Would you feel bad? Would you feel sorry for yourself?
Yeah.
But this guy is a hero.
Yeah.
Of just what faith and miracles can bring. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because he talks about, the darkest hours are when he would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and just be in so much pain,
Right.
which I don't think either one of us can even
No.
imagine what that kind of pain feels like.
No.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
this guy, he is cool.
he is cool.
Huh? And
So,
what a good thing to have faith, just to see that and give you a wonderful testimony, of what Heavenly Father can do and through Jesus Christ for us.
exactly. And you kind of have to wonder, he doesn't talk about this in the article, but you kind of have to wonder if in some of those deepest, darkest moments, he thought of the Savior and turned to the Savior and realized the Savior understands this pain I'm feeling.
Yeah.
No one else maybe even understands this pain I'm feeling, but I know that Christ does.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that that's probably part of his journey that he's talking about. So
Yeah. And if you haven't read about it, read about it.
Mhm.
Read it. Huh.
Yeah, it's a great article.
It is.
So, Brother Phelps, we wish you very well as you continue to recover, because he still has a long road ahead of him. It's gonna be a while, but I love his attitude and his resilience.
Yep. Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, our next one. We have an Osmond that has moved to Idaho. Now, I know you all thought Osmonds just live in Utah. Oh, no. Idaho's acquired their own Osmond. So, Jay Osmond, he is one of the original Osmond brothers. This started out with the original Osmond brothers. I believe there were 4 of them. And then as Donnie and Marie got older, Donnie and Marie joined. And then, of course, the youngest brother, Jimmy. So these original Osmonds, they had the ability to sing. Music was very big in their house. And their dad had sent in an audition tape to the Lawrence Welk Show. I'm sure you remember the Lawrence Welk Show.
Oh, yes. So well. So well.
For those of you who don't know what the Lawrence Welk Show is, because we are old and we do, the Lawrence Welk Show came on every Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and it was a musical variety hour directed by Lawrence Welk, and he had a band and singers and dancers and the whole 9 yards. And the joke in my house used to be, because my dad owned a furniture and television store and repaired televisions, is he would always get a call at like 5:30 on Saturday night with some panicked, usually widow lady going, "I need my TV fixed. I don't want to miss Lawrence Welk." So my dad would be out repairing TVs on Saturday night so the little old ladies could watch Lawrence Welk.
Oh.
I'm not making this up.
Oh, I believe you.
Anyway, so Lawrence Welk turned.
What's more disturbing is, how did I end up watching it? Because I remember it.
Because at 6 o'clock on Saturday night in the 70s, there was not another thing on television you could watch. We didn't have the array of channels we have today.
I would have been outside, though.
Well, you wouldn't in the wintertime. It'd be dark. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you were at your grandma's house or something.
True.
And your grandma had it on, because my grandparents always turned the Lawrence Welk Show on Saturday night. Anyway, we digress. We'll get back to Jay Osmond.
Those who know the show will laugh with us.
Yeah, and those who don't will just go, they're old. Anyway, so Jay, he was part of the original Osmonds. But what I didn't realize is, of course, I'm sure you remember Donnie and Marie had their own show in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
He was the executive producer and co-producer of Donnie and Marie's show. I had no idea.
I'm a little bit country.
And I'm a little bit rock and roll. Anyway, so he has been living, and then his family went to Branson, Missouri, and for years they had a venue in Branson, Missouri where they performed. Anyway, most recently he has been living in St. George, and he and his wife decided to relocate from St. George to none other than Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Oh boy.
And this is what they had to say about it. They had to say that they said they relocated to Idaho Falls, saying it offers them the perfect size community. Now, they relocated to Idaho Falls shortly before winter. Now, you used to live in Idaho Falls. Describe winters in Idaho Falls.
We lived there for many years.
Yes, you did.
It's a whole different weather pattern over there.
Winter starts about mid-September and ends in May.
Yeah. But the wind blows,
Uh-huh.
and then it snows, then
Uh-huh.
it drifts,
Yeah.
then it drifts,
Yeah,
and then it snows and drifts, snows and drifts.
exactly. It's
And-
very cold.
Yes, it's like when we moved over from Boise, 1978,
Okay.
in February, we left freezing,
Yes.
and we came over here, and it was a really nice,
'Cause
really
it's-
nice February.
It's mild in
very-
Boise. Winters
we
in
were
Boise
like-
are mild.
What have our parents? Why were we living back over there, huh? When there's a place like this.
You were probably cruising around in short sleeve shirts in February.
Oh, and if you know anybody that's was raised in Idaho Falls, their body's a whole different.
It's very true.
Oh yeah,
In fact, they call Boise Florida because
It
it's
is.
so mild over here.
It is.
Anyway, so Jay and his wife, Karina,
Hold on. So from St. George
to Idaho Falls
in the winter.
in the winter.
Okay.
Well, just before winter, they
Right.
relocated. They have not survived their first winter
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
We'll see if they have second thoughts come like March, April-ish.
Mm.
Anyway, so they like the community, but they are also getting their own radio show. So he and his wife are going to do a 4-hour radio show. It's going to begin in late December. It will run Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Wow.
So
Cool.
I may have to just, because a lot of those radio shows, you can stream over the internet.
Right.
I may have to just pull this up and listen to a show or two, because I don't know if it's going to be music or talk or a variety of both. The article doesn't say, but yeah, Idaho can now claim an Osmond as a residence.
Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls.
It is a cool place.
So, speaking of Idaho Falls, we have kind of an interesting thing. I had
Oh.
not heard of this story. This happened last Sunday. Sunday worship services at an LDS church in Idaho Falls were canceled after members arrived to find that one of the building's windows had been shot out overnight. So, church leader arrives about 8 in the morning. They see broken glass in the entrance. They find a bullet inside the building. They call the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office. They come out. While they don't believe that there's any ongoing threat to the congregation, out of an abundance of caution last Sunday, they canceled church.
Did it really say they found a bullet?
It did. It said they discovered a bullet inside the building.
Wow.
So anyway, so they're expecting to resume services this week, but maybe it was somebody who had a talk and they're like, ooh, how can I get out of my talk? I don't recommend that.
No, don't do that.
I wish it had told me what size of a bullet. I mean, are we talking a little 22? Are we talking a 9mm? I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know.
Huh.
Do you think size of bullet matters? When you
No.
find a bullet
No, if
and a broken
someone's
window,
shooting bullets,
it
that's-
doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bullet's a
that's-
bullet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to this next story. This one is kind of funny. So, the title of this one is Men's Mental Health Costco Club meets men where they are. So, there is a Costco in Orem. When I lived in Provo and we were dating, did I ever take you to the
You
Orem
did.
Costco? I was
Yeah.
thinking I had. So you know where the Costco.
I like the parking lot.
I like the parking lot too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's a good parking lot.
it's a good parking lot. So, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at the Orem Costco, they have this group and it's called Men's Mental Health Costco Club. And so you show up at 7 p.m. at the food court and you order your food and you just sit down with the bros and you have a conversation. So this was started by a gentleman by the name of Jackson Smith. And he just said, when we were kids and we were in elementary school, you sat around the lunchroom table and that's how you made your friends and that's how you talked to people. And that there's a lot of stigma with men doing counseling or going to groups or things like that. And so he said, I'm going to start this club where men like to hang out and men like to hang out in Costco.
Huh.
Do you think men like to hang out in Costco? You always love a good Costco trip, but you're usually with me.
I'll go with the boys.
Yeah, you will. You'll go with the boys. So he said men don't go to therapy, they go to Costco.
Hold on. Like our boys.
Oh, yeah.
My sons.
I knew that. Well,
Right.
probably our listeners didn't.
Right.
That's what Darren meant when he said the boys. We have sons, and he goes and hangs out with the
Oh,
sons.
one of our sons can eat some food.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like a good dad should. A good dad should go hang out with his boys.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
anyway, these mental health meetings are an effort to meet men where they are and where they already enjoy going. They're reminiscent of a simpler time when kids used to connect and make friends at the school lunchroom table.
Huh.
So, thus far, Costco hasn't said anything.
Okay.
Costco hasn't kicked them out. But apparently the group is getting larger and larger every week as news of this is getting around.
They need more hot dogs and pizza.
So Costco may need to invest in more hot dogs and pizza on Wednesday night.
And in addition, like a break room or something?
I
Room?
don't know. Who knows? But I suppose Costco is like, well, as long as you're in the store spending money.
I could see you meeting a lot of different people.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
for sure. For sure. So anyway,
Cool.
kind of cool. All right. This next one is a fun one for us.
Which one is this one?
This is Saturday's Warrior.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We love the Saturday's Warrior. Huh?
We
really do.
We really do. Between this story and the next story,
Yeah.
we're going, in the Lawrence Welk tirade we went on. We're going so old school tonight.
Oh, boy.
So we're sorry if you're, 40 or younger. I don't even know what we're talking about. If you were a child of the 70s and you were a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which at that point in time we were Mormons, not so much anymore, but we were then.
Hold on, your show still is.
Well, my show still is, but that's because we're under the bigger umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
We're not just limited to members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh.
We're under the big umbrella of anybody who wants to classify themselves as Mormons. Some people will say they are not a member, but they culturally identify with being a Mormon because of how they grew up. So you can culturally identify with being a Mormon and not be a member of the church. If you grew up Mormon and you no longer espouse the religious beliefs.
No comment.
It's probably wise. Okay, so back to Saturday's Warrior.
Love it.
Saturday's Warrior is 50 years old.
Ooh.
That's just frightening.
Yes.
Anyway, so this is an article that was in the Salt Lake Tribune, and this is what the Salt Lake Tribune had to say about Saturday's Warrior. It ranks second only to Bruce R. McConkie's Mormon Doctrine as the most influential work of theology in the modern Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Really?
Do you know how frightening that is on so many levels? Because do you know how much false doctrine is in Saturday's Warrior that has been culturally appropriated by all of us?
Right.
But
it's fun to think about, though.
Oh, it is fun to think about. And the thing is, I mean, in 75, you were 10, I was 8.
Yeah.
So we were so impressionable in terms of this doctrine. And probably for a number of years, we believed this doctrine until we got older and wiser and realized, well, maybe that's not exactly doctrinally accurate. So anyway,
Love it.
It talks about Saturday's Warrior, that it was born in the 1970s because pop Christian music had started coming around, like Jesus Christ Superstar. And it was a time when many Protestants and Catholics in the United States had begun to tentatively embrace the unbuttoned 60s ethos and wanted to prove that Christianity could be as groovy as rock and roll music.
Nice.
It's very true. Anyway, so there was the play version of Saturday's Warrior that was a stage production, and that's where I originally saw it, and it toured all around the Intermountain West. And then I believe in the 80s, they kind of did a really cheesy film version of it, and then they did a re-release of it in an updated film version. I think it was around 2016, 2017.
Oh, yeah, we were there.
We were there. We took our kids to go see it at the theater.
Excellent.
I was mentioning today that I had the CD from the 2016 production, the musical CD.
Yeah.
And I left it in my white Volvo. Do you remember we sold that white Volvo? And I left it in the white Volvo.
Those poor people.
And so whoever got my white Volvo got the Saturday's Warrior CD. Anyway, I was kind of sad to realize.
That's a cool CD.
Exactly. That's why I was kind of sad.
Love that.
And I won it. I can't remember how or where I won it, but I got it for free. So that made it even better. Anyway, so when we took our kids to see the 2016 film, they were not nearly.
Especially when we're singing.
Yeah. They were just like, our parents are weird. They just appreciate and embrace it.
No, I remember Isaac like, what in the heck?
Might not have been the word heck coming out of his mouth.
Why did you bring us here?
Anyway, so let's talk about some of the false doctrine.
Oh, no. Fun.
Anyway, so one of the things that they talk about is that so we've got the young protagonist, Jimmy. He's so ashamed of his parents and their big family, and that his mother is pregnant. And there's a famous song, of course, Zero Population. He hooks up with some friends who believe, birth control, the whole 9 yards. And so that was something that was, again, in the 70s. Like birth control in the 70s was like, oh, no. That has changed since then. Right. Anyway, so the second part of the musical for Saturday's Warrior embraces millennialism, a belief that the world is rapidly coming to an end, and that Jimmy and his fellow young saints have been specifically chosen to be advocates for Jesus Christ in a time when society is descending into a sort of wickedness that only the second coming and Jesus Christ can thwart. That was a real belief when we were growing up. Yeah. I mean, how many times did you hear as a kid that you and I, oh, you guys are the chosen generation, you're going to save everybody,
yeah,
etc. Anyway, that statement and belief has been explicitly repudiated by the church. In 2008, leaders put out a statement declaring that the rumors circulating that modern youth were generals in the war in heaven, soldiers for Christ, saved for the latter days, is a false statement. It's not church doctrine. The church instructed lay leaders to correct anyone who attempts to perpetuate its use. So
I can see why.
Again, that was a very big theme that was kind of central to how we thought as kids, again, coming from Saturday's Warrior. Another one was matches made in heaven. That everything that happens here on earth was predetermined and pre-decided in heaven, and you had to find your one true person in heaven, and you had to find the people you were supposed to convert as a missionary that you promised to convert in heaven.
Hold on, this one's fun to think about, though.
It is fun to think about, but the church says it's not true.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But it is fun.
We've discussed that many times. You have said,
because when the first time we met, right?
Yes.
Was on the phone, right?
Yes.
And we connected
immediately.
And I've always said, we must have known each other. Said, hey, let's try to find somebody. Let's try to find each other. Huh?
And I always say, had you gotten back from your mission and driven your little self 20 miles down the road to the town I lived in,
ooh, yeah,
we could have prevented a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
Anyway, the church has said, sorry, that's not true.
Nope.
And the other thing, too, is, in fact, former President Spencer W. Kimball rejected the notion that people are meant to marry a certain person or pick a spouse in the pre-existence. Apostle James Talmage, one of the faith's leading theological writers, rejected the notion that God planned human lives before their birth. But it says, still the idea continues to circulate, again, just like what you and I have talked about,
right,
because it can bring order to the chaos of our lives and help us cope with tragedy.
Huh.
So that's why we just, even though we know it's not true, we think about it, we talk about it.
Love the Spencer W. Kimball.
Exactly. Here is another one that is a central theme of Saturday's Warrior. The notion that our experiences on earth are punishment or rewards for behavior we cannot remember, or they are invisible hopes that we do not recall that we agreed and we must leap, invisible hoops that we do not recall that we agreed and we must leap through, can lead to pernicious conclusions. So,
I didn't even understand that, so I didn't think this.
okay. But were you ever taught growing up, oh, you were so valiant in the pre-existence, that's why you got to be born here at this time with this family? Were you ever taught that growing up?
Yeah.
So was I.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
true.
No.
No.
I'm not that important. Right?
Well, I think you're very important.
Oh, yeah.
But
not that important.
That belief is not true, that where you what happens in your life here on earth is a result of good behavior in the pre-existence.
No.
Apparently we used to really think that those poor Russians must have been really bad in the pre-existence. But it was the Cold War. So, anyway. But it's so interesting to look at that doctrine that was so heavily espoused 50 years ago. And just like what it said, it's second only to Mormon doctrine in terms of how it's been ingrained in us culturally. And so much of it is just theologically inaccurate.
Yep.
But it's still who we are. And apparently we really haven't passed it on to our kids because they didn't appreciate Saturday's Warrior when we took it to them.
No.
Took them to it.
Yeah, it was a generation thing.
It was a generation thing. Okay, this is our next one. This is kind of fun. There is a woman out there. Her name is Jennifer Finlayson Fife. And she is an LDS therapist. Not only is she an LDS therapist, she specializes in sex therapy.
Nice.
I know. So she has a new book out, and she was interviewed by the Salt Lake Tribune, Peggy Fletcher Stack. We like Sister Stack. Her new book is That We Might Have Joy, Desire, Divinity, and Intimate Love.
Nice.
Now, again, hearkening back to our youth.
Ooh. Ow.
Bah. And that's what Jennifer talks about is, I think kids today, I mean, we've seen this with our own kids that got married. And maybe we just need to harken back to how sex and intimacy was taught when we were youth.
Right.
If you were a member of the church, it was taught almost as a shameful thing. You were like, you were not supposed to do this. You were not supposed to do that. Very much a list of don't. All of these things are bad. Don't have any desires. Desires are bad. Having a desire is just as bad as actually doing it. There was just a lot of shame associated with sex and intimacy when we were growing up. The licked cupcake. Did you ever hear about the licked cupcake?
No.
I said that to someone the other day and they're like, you're kidding. And I was like, no. The licked cupcake lesson from Young Women's, that you go in and you lick a cupcake and then you hand it to somebody and you say, do you want to eat the licked cupcake? And they were like, no, I don't want to eat the licked cupcake. That's what it's like if you mess around before you get married. Nobody wants to eat your licked cupcake.
Oh my.
You didn't get that lesson?
No, young men, I don't remember. I mean, I wasn't full attending young man, right? We didn't get that one.
Yeah.
No.
It's so damaging on so many levels. It entirely takes out what we lovingly call repentance and the atonement.
Oh, it did back then.
Which repentance and the atonement were taught entirely differently back then too. Anyway, so she has spoken a lot about marital intimacy and the importance of marital intimacy, because she has counseled so many people that have just struggled because it's this taboo, shameful thing. And then you get married, and the instant you're married, it's no longer taboo and shameful, but you've had years and years and years of programming in your head that this is taboo and shameful. And so it creates a problem.
I can see.
So this is what Sister Finlayson Fife has to say. She says, okay, if you have small children, I'm just giving you fair warning right now. The best sex is never hard work. Good sex is easy, she writes. The turn on for most women is being the turn on. And finally, our bodies are sensual natures and not obstacles to holiness, but essential components of it. I loved that.
Yeah.
So, and she talks about, one of the questions she was asked is, why do so many members see the law of chastity as warning against sex outside of marriage, but struggle with the divine approval
Wow.
of sex inside marriage? And I think you and I have seen that with a lot of our friends.
Oh yeah.
So,
This one's a hard one to learn
it is.
if you're not on board and
Do you think it's harder for men or do you think it's harder for women?
well, men. So we've learned this in the last how many years? 8 years?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And then but I think a man is completely different
Mhm.
in that realm, right?
Yeah.
He just wants kind of one thing. I'm speaking for me. How about if I just speak for me?
You speak for
Okay?
Darren.
Okay, as a male.
But I would say
But
that Darren,
but we weren't taught, right?
Yeah.
No one ever taught me that women are more into the
hugs,
the hugs,
the touches.
which starts out
Exactly.
the end product of
Exactly.
what
Exactly. And that's
sex is.
That's what she talks about
Yeah.
in this article. She says that where does she say it here? She says women's eroticism is connected to the experience of being desirable. To be attractive, this infers right at this infers right at the point. It really can't be a problem. Anyway, she was talking about garments, but she says there was another one here that was so good. Um uh 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 Anyway, what she was talking about, at least from a woman's perspective, is she was saying that women need to feel desired by their men. And when women feel desired by their men and not just and when I say desire, I mean completely, I mean like a holistic desire. I don't mean just a physical desire. That and you do a really good job of this, that there's a physical desire and there's an emotional desire. There is a wanting to connect on an emotional level, not just on a physical level. And that when a woman feels that way, that all of a sudden she has the confidence and security that then allow all sorts of other intimacies and sexual feelings and to flow forth.
Oh yeah.
And that that is such an essential component.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, that's not taught in our theology. We don't think of sex as joy. She says, we teach that we might have joy, but a lot of us think that that's for the next life. Yes, pleasure that is hedonistic, that takes advantage of someone or is destructive is a problem. But pleasure that's anchored in our mortality, in our morality, is actually part of joy. And I loved that.
Yeah. So what changed in our marriage, right?
Uh-huh.
Was there wasn't that full. I don't
No.
know. I wasn't loving you to the degree I should have been, and so I had an experience with a dream,
Uh-huh.
right, that had to do with a certain person in your life, and just telling me, hey, you need to love. It was your mom.
Yeah.
And you need to love my daughter like I wanted her loved, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it was such a surreal experience to me that it switched my prayers, and it's of me praying that I would only be attracted to you, and that you would see me as only attracted to you, and you would never catch me nowadays, like even looking at another girl, right?
Yeah.
You know that.
I know that.
But it's just because of the way a man, right, a woman has got to know her man has full
Exactly.
honesty, right?
Yes.
No pornography.
Yeah.
That's adultery.
Yeah.
Right. And or just looking upon another woman, she needs to know he is full in on his woman, loving, telling her she's beautiful, and falling in love. And to get to that degree, you need to be praying, Heavenly Father, help my spirit and my brain and everything be attracted to my wife only.
Yeah.
To not pick up on other feelings of other women or anything. And then, as you feel that,
As I felt that,
right,
how did you
then
perceive me changing as I felt that?
everything started changing, even our kissing and our hugging.
Yeah.
And then our sex life is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's almost to the degree of we talk, I don't know, it's just a wonderful, it's a gift.
It is. It's very much a gift. And that's what she says, is she says, soulful sex is intimate, that you can really bring your full self to the partnership, that your bed is a place that you can be fully with your spouse, that you can enjoy each other. It's a kind of marital sacrament. It's a place to step outside the mundane into a place in a space that's rejuvenating and that allows you to touch something greater. And that to me just perfectly described what I feel with you, because as I felt you like more fully love me, I mean, you were always physically attracted to me and you always loved me, but they didn't meld. And as I felt that melding, again, it melted walls that I had that allowed me then in turn to more fully love you and be more focused on, I mean, just every aspect of our relationship, whether it's physical intimacy, whether it's like, how can I help you out today? What can I do for you? Can I give you a little back rub? Just listening. Exactly. Listening. And so it is amazing, I think, how that has evolved with us. And I really like what she has to say, but both people have to do the work, I think, to overcome, tapes that go on in your head, programming from when you were a kid, to set that aside and go, no, this is a really good thing. This is a healthy thing. It's healthy for our relationship. It's healthy for us physically. It connects us. We always talk about having a celestial marriage and wanting to, and not just a celestial marriage, but making our marriage celestial, I think is how we talk about it. And that we want to build every day and work on making our marriage celestial. More and more. And I just think it can't get any better. And then it does.
It really does.
It really does. And it comes from,
and if anybody hears this is not easy.
No.
This is many years.
This is a lot of work.
In fact, we had to go.
We had to go to therapy.
Yeah, we were about done.
We were about done.
Yeah, and then it all started changing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. As we put tons and tons of work, prayer.
Exactly.
Our companionship prayer has brought that trust and faith.
Exactly.
But for any man that is married, and the biggest thing is to stay away from pornography, to stay away from gawking at other women, to let your woman know she is the only woman that you're looking at, you're thinking about, and you're always commenting and asking Heavenly Father. If you're not truly in love, ask Heavenly Father to help you fall in love, because the love we have for each other, I never thought was obtainable in what we have in this life.
No. And seriously, it is so much fun. I am always like, I said to you a couple of years ago, I can't remember what I was doing with one of the kids. And you're like, you're spoiling him. Quit spoiling him. And I said, fine, I'll spoil you. And so I said, I'm going to spoil you so bad, I'm going to ruin you. And you said, you can't ruin me. And I said, hold my Diet Coke and watch. And it's all about just like the little things and always being concerned, what can I do for Darren? How can I help Darren? This week I had a Relief Society activity and you were so cognizant of what can I do to help you? How, do you need this? Do you need that? And then also for me, because I am so gosh darn independent, learning to let you help me.
Yes.
That was a big one for me, learning to let you help me. And so, I always joke, I'm like, oh, you're never going to find a wife that's going to treat you better than me.
No.
And you always joke, no one will treat me better than you do.
No, not possible.
So anyway, I would highly recommend her book. In fact, I suggested to you, I said, I know she's got a couple of podcasts. When we're driving down to Utah tomorrow, we need to download.
So I've already listened to one of hers years ago, right?
Yeah, I think
that
you did.
I told you about.
Yes,
and I was
you
like,
did.
I was learning a few things when I was listening to her.
Yeah.
And
you told me who she was, and you're like, you know her? And I was like, yeah, I know who she is. I know
Why
what
didn't
she's
you tell
about.
me years ago?
I didn't think I could get you to listen to a podcast, let alone be on one. Anyway, I suggested, I said, let's download a couple of her episodes and let's listen to them tomorrow while we're driving down to Utah. Anyway, okay, we're running long on time, so I'm going to skip this last story, and we're just going to we have a Mormon behaving badly this week.
Oh.
Okay. This is a BYU football player. This actually happened last week. It happened before the Texas Tech game. He got dismissed from the team after lewdness accusations. He was a running back. His name was Kason Krebs. He was a running back for the football team, and police identified him as a suspect in 3 lewdness cases. The incidents happened in the past few weeks in the vicinity of the Smith's grocery store near 300 North and 11 West in Provo. Each incident involved the suspect publicly exposing himself and engaging in lewd behavior. Yeah, that's a Mormon behaving badly. So he was dismissed from the football team, and I'm guessing he is probably not long for BYU because that would be an honor code violation.
I can see how that would be.
Yes. All right. Well, we are at the end of the show, and now we have
This is it.
This is it. Now we have to talk about favorite things.
Oh.
And I had mentioned that earlier, and you said, why don't you ever give me enough warning for favorite things? And I said, well, if you have something that's your favorite thing, then great. If not, I said, I've got a couple things I can talk about. So why don't you start first with what your favorite thing is?
So for the last, how long? Couple years?
Couple years.
I've been listening to the Prophets Talk, his most current conference talk. And as I switched to Elder Oaks, this last conference, it started out a little bit different because I'm so used to President Nelson and the way he teaches. But as I've listened to President Oaks talk many times already, each work morning, not every morning, each work day, so Monday through Friday, on the way to work, and I've just grown to just love and just feel of his love for us. And it's just, he's such a great man, you know what I mean? But as he talks about life and the trials that we face, if we all listen to that talk, you'll get something. It'll hit home of many things. So I will continue to listen to it till next conference. So that is still my favorite thing. Thanks to Brother Moroni. You
got to tell them who Brother Moroni is. They don't know who Brother Moroni is. They're thinking you're talking about a Book of Mormon character.
Okay. How do you pronounce his last name?
Moroni. Just a sec. I have the phonetic spelling in my planner.
So they moved in our ward. But
he used to be a BYU football player.
It
is pronounced Laula Pututo.
Yes.
Pututau.
Excellent. That's cool.
I phonetically wrote it in my planner because I never remember it. Anyway.
So he became one of the advisors in the priest quorum with Bishop and I.
Yes.
And he brought goals. We hadn't been setting very many goals, but he brought goals in and started teaching the young men and the priests about goals. And we all set goals. And this is one I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right? And the first 30 days was horrible of listening. You know how I don't do this, right?
He's a little ADD, folks.
But as I got into it and listened to each time, I I was becoming a better man.
You were.
Like my choices throughout the day were like changed. There was no road rage in the morning.
Yeah.
And it just set my day off. But Moroni brought this in, and it's such a cool thing because all the young men pick something.
Yeah.
And they all accomplish something, you know what I mean?
And something of their choice that they want to work on personally for them.
Exactly. And so I just keep with this one, and it's great.
Love it. Love it.
Let's hear yours.
Okay. Mine is not nearly as spiritual as Darren's. Spiritual high. Now we're going to move to a spiritual low. I'm going to do a little review, and then I'm going to talk about my favorite thing.
Oh.
So I don't know if you all are aware, right now McDonald's has the Grinch meal. Have you heard about McDonald's Grinch meal?
No.
Okay, so here's the deal with the McDonald's Grinch meal. It comes in like a oversized kids meal box, okay? You can pick either nuggets or a Big Mac. That's your base. And then you pick your French fries, and they have what's called a shaker bag for your French fries. And they have Grinch salt. Well, the Grinch salt is a pickle flavoring. And so you put your fries into...
Is this for real?
This is for real.
Okay.
You put your fries in, you dump your fries out of your little fry cup that they come in into the bag. Then you dump your seasoning in there and you shake it all around. And you eat your fries with this pickle seasoning. And then, of course, you have your drink. And then the prize is Grinch socks. And I have some Grinch socks here.
Those come in the meal.
These come in the meal. They come in 4 different colors. So they have been wildly popular, and people have had a hard time getting them. Lauren and Kyron, that's our daughter and our son-in-law, last week posted on social media they had gotten their Grinch meals. And I thought, oh, there's no way I'm ever going to get a Grinch meal. I'm sure they're already sold out. So today I had worked from home in the morning, and I was running into my office, and I thought, oh, I'm going to run by McDonald's, and I'm going to get fries and a Diet Coke. That was going to be my healthy lunch. And I get on the app, and the Grinch meal is available at the McDonald's I'm going to. And so I was like, well, I have to try the Grinch meal. So I'm going to give you my review of the Grinch meal, because then I called Lauren on my way home from work, and I said, tell me what you thought of the Grinch meal, and I'll tell you what I thought of the Grinch meal. The Big Mac is the Big Mac. The Diet Coke is the Diet Coke. It's more about, what do you think of the French fries with the Grinch salt that is this pickle flavoring? I didn't hate them, but I didn't love them. I was kind of meh on them. It isn't one of those things that I'm craving, that I'm like, oh, I'm going to go back and get that. I was just kind of meh.
Yeah, McDonald's fry is supposed to be just a McDonald's fry.
Yeah. So that's my review. But the socks, look at the socks. The socks are really cute. And I thought the socks would be probably like dollar store quality.
Yeah.
Feel them. They're like decent quality socks. So maybe I'll wear these tomorrow on our little road trip. But
fun.
Now let's get to my really favorite thing.
Let's see it.
Target.
Oh.
Target did a partnership with Diet Coke. Oh. Now, I am blaming this on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I mean, they didn't make that connection, but here's why.
Is this the show?
The show.
Okay.
It used to be, if you wanted to find Diet Coke merchandise, like you got on the Coca-Cola's website, and there was like 3 things. You could get a pen, you could get a tumbler cup, and you could get a Christmas ornament. That's about all you could get that had Diet Coke on it. Lots of Coca-Cola stuff, but not much Diet Coke. In the last year to 18 months, the Diet Coke merchandise that is now available has just exploded. And here's why I blame it on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Those girls have made going to Swig in Utah and getting a dirty Diet Coke a really big thing. So now, all of a sudden, because of this show, people are drinking Diet Coke. So Diet Coke merchandise is available. So Target did this release, and they did it on a Sunday, November 30th. Like, I'm going to run to Target on a Sunday. I'm not going to do that.
Hold on, for Diet Coke merch?
Well, not even for Diet Coke merch.
Oh.
But I will get on their website. So I did get on their website. The only thing I was able to order on their website was this lovely little cup right here. This is an Awala, and it has Diet Coke on it. I believe it's a 24-ouncer. Anyway, so as you can hear, I've been keeping my Diet Coke in it. But then I was able to go to the store. All the clothing that I thought was terribly cute that I couldn't get online, that was only available in the store, was all sold out. So I didn't get the clothing. But I did get a couple of other things. I got a Coca-Cola lip smacker. My sisters thought I needed to have this because I had a huge lip smacker in high school that they would always steal and put lip gloss on.
Nice.
And then I got this little pack right here, which is Diet Coke charms and Diet Coke shoelaces. So I'm anxious to find a thing to do with my Diet Coke charms and my Diet Coke shoelaces because I am rapidly acquiring some very cute Diet Coke merch. So those are my favorite things. If you are a Diet Coke girl, like I am,
seek the target.
Seek the target.
Nice.
Although I think the cups are completely sold out now,
Jeez.
but it's really cute and I really like it. So that's my favorite thing.
A big hit.
Big hit. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps us up for tonight. Thank you so much for coming on with me.
Yeah.
This has been.
I'm glad I got invited back. I thought I was really out.
No,
Oh,
you're not
good.
out. The fans love you.
No.
I have to keep you in. Okay. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out at contact@thisweekinmormons.com. You can find us on Facebook. I've been throwing all sorts of fun stuff up on the Facebook. So, I don't know if we have as we go into the holidays, it's a little harder to get hosts. We are going to record an end of the year roundup show next week. And so Kurt will release that at some point in time.
Hold on. Am I invited to this one?
Yes, you're invited to the end of the year roundup show. In fact, Kurt wants you to participate in the end of the year roundup show. So I'm just saying. Anyway, Twim Nation, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Darren and I will probably not have a chance to say Merry Christmas to you. So we hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.